All right, good evening, everyone. DayTraderRock's here, and this is our very special first of the year watch list, and we're going to call this Stocks to Watch in 2026. All right, good evening, everyone. DayTraderRock's here, and this is our very special first of the year watch list, and we're going to call this Stocks to Watch in 2026. Ooh, I hear myself come through there. Way to start it off, Johnny. Way to start it off. All right, back here with you. Today is the first watch list of the year, and it's really the stocks to watch in 2026. It's kind of an index where a lot of people asked. I mean, we trade a lot of stocks here at Day Trading Radio. Doing this video live for the members, but I'm sure later on, because it has such a long value to it, it'll be put out for other people. So if you do happen to get it, you know, we trade every day stocks and futures, options, follow the markets basically 24/7. Right now it's 10:05 on a Sunday, and the markets are open. And the markets are opened up after some pretty big news over the weekend, where the USA went into Venezuela and arrested, or kind of grabbed the dictator ruler and his wife and family and flew him back to New York, and now we're in control of Venezuela, and this is pretty serious worldwide news. Futures opened up on a high note, not a tremendous gap up, but we did open up on a gap. Let's see, we closed out, I'm going to say around 69.01, 69.02, and then we kind of just popped open. I think our high went up to we'll see where that is. Maybe 69.12. We're back up 69.11. We moved all the way back up. So, and it looks like we're about to take out the highs this one today. But I'm sure the bigger move is going to happen tomorrow. I think a lot of people are just waiting through this news. But the important part of this video is that we're going to be discussing, the top 10 stocks of 2026 that I like after a lot of research and stuff, and and also just kind of update you on the new year. I did release a new strategy. This is a great strategy, the quad rotation. This is also a new page that I developed for the bot scripts, and I was working for the last 4 days just trying to get this uploaded. So I did upload it. It's called the quad rotation strategy. It's excellent. I'm having it running all this week, so you can enjoy that. You could go to the site and you'll see the manual for it, but you could download it. It's available for download. You should have already gotten an email. You should have already gotten an email for that right here. That's what you would have gotten. But let me see where I am here. Oh, that's my sushi menu. Right. So it's the quad rotation strategy. Has a nice manual to it. Download. I did a big video on it. If you download it, you can just go to the downloads. You can go to that, or you just go to normally on the site where you download the scripts. So I just want to update you on that. If you want to download, you're going to go to the Rockbot code area. But the first thing that is very important to remember is you're going to have to remove the old scripts. If you have an old script from me, there's an old assembly on your machine, you're going to want to remove that. All right, you're going to want to remove that. So we're going to do that. I'm just going to show you how to do that fast. Go to Tools and go to, where are we? We're Remove Ninja Script Assembly. And then that'll pop up. And if you see any of the scripts that you've recently downloaded, it might be 2025. This one is called 2026A. 2026A. So make sure, go through that process. It'll pop up. It takes a while sometimes to pop up. Ninja, there it is. And you scroll down to where you see date, the Rockbot strategy. I won't have it on here because I'm the owner of the machine and it's my script, so I don't have to import them like you do. So I have to. That's what you're gonna have to do first, and then go through Tools. You download it, the new one, and then import it in by using the Ninja Strip add-on. So when you download it, maybe it goes to your download folder. Go to import it again, and then you should see Rockbot 2026A zip file. Click on that, open it. That'll import it into your file, and then everything. You'll have all the scripts back again. So that's just an update on that. That is all done, hopefully. And again, give me a few days. If there is some errors and stuff, I'll get through them. We'll figure out everything together. All right. So let's get back to why we're here. Happy 2026. Happy 2026. What a way to start it off. Lots of news. Brand new year. It's going to be good. Let's go to our chart here. All right, so I started this last year, and I kind of was working on what was called our DTR index. The 10 stocks that we want to have money in, invested in all the time, and kind of almost have just an index that we can rotate. What makes the index? Now, a very small index. It's not the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, the Dow 30. I'm just going to put 10 stocks here that I like, and we're going to hold. We're going to put. It's going to be hype. I'm going to own some of these if you own them, but basically I'm going to put them in there as an index and weight them accordingly, that they're all basically the same price, and then take an even position in them in a tracking portfolio, and which basically this is right here. This is the tracker, and there's going to should be 10 stocks. So that's what we're going to be working on this video. The 10 stocks that are going in here. Now, I started building this out last year, end of last summer, going into the fall. So I put these stocks in here, pretty much testing it, and again, I wanted to be very. I wasn't rushing to put anything in there. I really wanted to get the stocks I really liked, and so I always up to 5, and I was really wanted to do more research, and then I put it onto the sideline, and now it's a good point to bring this back because I want to fill it out, and this is how we're going to track our 10 stocks of the year, 2026 best 10 stocks, and we're going to be able to kind of make a whole index for it. It'll be it's going to be, so I built the whole thing out. I just needed, to use it for something. This is going to be the perfect opportunity. Now, there's already a few stocks on here, if you noticed. And I'm going to go over those stocks, but some of these are still going to remain on here. ISRG, Google, Net. I want to look at, I haven't looked at the Snowflake in a while. And the NBIS, well, that was part of the kind of the AI server space crash that recently happened, and that's actually down a little from where it's not a lot. I mean, it's not a big amount of shares. Overall, it's up 5%. So it's but this should perform really good this year because once I start to pay attention to, we start to manage it. There's other things here that I'm going to incorporate it into it. Buy and sell signals that will alert you when it's time to buy. Basically, this alert signal here does run on stochastics. So basically, this alert will almost be like a super signal. When I do a super signal scan, and I have a daily super signal scan here that I built, it's basically the same thing. I made a formula for that. So when it checks everything, it's going to check their stochastics and stuff, and it's going to tell us when those stocks are in buy zones or sell zones. Now, I'm not saying to buy and sell them at that zones, but at least it'll give you a good indication of when you should add to them. Because it's going to be a definite, reason to look at these. Now, I always do my scans just to show you the process. We trade here for years and years and years, so we've had a good understanding of all the good quality names out there, and we want to stick to the quality names. This watch list is not about trying to find a gamble. It's like, oh, this is the one I believe is going to come out with a drug, and I just want something that has good, what I feel is going to be very good, steady growth. It's going to continue to go up in stock price, and that's the tough one. We don't want something going sideways. We want something that's really going to have some good growth behind it, and it's safe enough. I'm not against buying a drugs company that has potential news coming out, but we have to understand that news could also affect things. So I want to try to keep us out of the that higher risk thing. So we're going to, that's where we're going to, but I have a scan here, which I use. It's called a daily super signal scan. And I'm going to just make a little watch list. And now it says U.S. common stocks. I do not use the common stocks, default, because it's too many stocks and it's penny stocks. You don't use this strategy for that. So I could either bring it to the S&P 500 Or to give us a little bit more, I use the high cap 1,000, which is usually pretty good. And now this is the criteria on this is very, very strict. It's requiring 2 divergences and an oversold 60-10, which I never use on the daily chart, but I started, of course, testing it and seeing, I have it on the screen. So once I start having it on the screen, we start to circle it, and we see these areas that we circle just take off because of this combination. And you can actually see the combination, Galaxy GLXY. You can see this right here is considered our 9-3. This is our 14-3, and this is our 60-10. I just put it in the middle like that. Now you can see back here we had it also, and there was a slight little move up, which is fine. And if we go back over here, we had a divergence on the 14-3, and you can see the big move here. So we're back here in a divergence signal. We had a big move here. That's on GLXY. Now, I'm not saying that that's going into my watch list. It just happened to be a stock that's showing right here. But I am no way I'm interested in it because it's a quad. I circled it, but it's not going on our watch list, our big daily watch list. But I'm just showing you the process. And just while we're on them, usually these stocks are really good to pay attention to. I do have a list for you. Just for now, this week. That's qualifying. This is not part of the... So we have Roblox is actually setting up here. Roblox, which is, looking at it, I have to agree there. I see a divergence. I see a high-level divergence. It's been fighting to stay up. Tried to move back up here. Came back, flushed down a little, then rebounded. This had a couple signals here. They weren't exactly, this is what we look for, the exact lineup like that. This was kind of it. And again, definitely you get that move up. It doesn't mean that's going to be a rocket going straight up like a spaceship, but you're going to have that bias. That's when you want to take your trade, is when the bias is in your direction. Now, if you're dealing with a stock that I call has stock rot and has just been trading down over the last few months, these levels, these buy signals will definitely stabilize it. Maybe even bring it up a little. In some cases, it'll be the bottom. It's usually a good thing for going, stabilizing it, going sideways or going higher. If it goes sideways and you get back up here, you should be, you should be out of that basically, because that's a sign of a sell zone, and that's how things work. It's just. So we're just coming off a divergence. That's interesting. I want to circle it because of this. That way, if we come back and look at it, we'll say, oh, look, remember that? That was a super signal. ACM, engineering and construction. Now, I circled this back here for some reason. I don't know what it was. It was just one signal. So it wasn't a super signal or anything. But I did look at it here. I don't know why I looked at it. It's not a stock that I typically look at. So let's jump past that. Brown & Forman, I was doing research a little bit before, so I did circle this already right here because it is qualifying as a super signal. A nice rotation. You catch these on the way up. Lots of times people catch them and they're just hitting their highs. And that's bad because people don't realize that. That's a great sign of when, you're always going to do better buying the stock when the stochastics are not overbought and they're on the way up. You don't want to be buying when it's up there because then you could get these big pullbacks. You just don't need that. Pool, same thing. Looks pretty good here. Industrial distribution. Pool. That's $232. Long base. Very long base going out to November. It's really holding up pretty good. And we're starting to see that divergence. Had a little low, the break kind of came down. Now it's starting to push back up. That actually looks pretty good. I want to write this one down because I have to read up on it. Instead of reading up on it, let's do our favorite thing. Now, I don't trust Ara on everything, but she does give us sometimes good information on stuff that she gets straight from the internet. Give me a update or give me an analysis of the stock symbol POOL.
Hey, POL. That's Pool Corporation. the big swimming pool supplies distributor. As of the close on Friday, January 2nd, it's sitting right around $230 a share, up about 0.5% that day. But honestly, it's been rough, down over 40% from its highs last year, and the stock's lost like 41% over the past 5 years total. It's near its 52-week low right now, bottomed around 226 recently. High was about 375 back in March 2025. Analysts mostly have it on hold. Average price target is around 315 to 320. So they're seeing 30 to 40% upside from here if things turn. Q3 earnings actually beat a tiny bit, but the pool business is super tied to new home construction and remodeling, which has been slow with high rates and all. Next earnings drop mid-February. That'll be the big tell for 2026 outlook. Feels like a wait-and-see stock right now. Cheap if rates come down and housing picks up, but no rush if you're not already in it.
Not bad. Not bad. Anyway, I don't see myself getting in that either way, but that's good information. Now, the SMCI has come back up on our list. This is kind of interesting because this is part of the infrastructure, AI, warehouse, and data centers and stuff like that. And this was once a pretty great stock, and then they had a lot of issues. And it's come down, and it's never really, back here they kind of cleaned up their act, and it actually had a nice little run to 60, and then it lost it here. And now we actually had a nice little, but of course earnings dropped it, and then we got down here, and then there was some more bad news, and it just, they had some bad guidance that really hit the stock. They guided lower. So this is where we are right now. But you know what? It's on the list here. It's on the list. So I'm going to have to circle it. You can see I started circling it down here into that. I think anything under $30 here in the high 20s was really good. This is only 31.14. I wouldn't want to lose an opportunity here without just for a buck or two. I mean, but this has been such a disappointing name. It just has never performed good. It's just, you would expect it to perform, get their stuff together, but not yet. But you know what? We all like a comeback. UWMC. Don't know anything about it. Specialty finance at $4 stock. We're pass on that. Rigetti, pass. Quantum computing, pass. And Galaxy, we looked at it, was just happened to be on there. I don't know much about it. Sounds like a crypto company. So we're going to pass on those. Nothing really setting up that much out of those. What I like? Oh, the SMCI. That's probably the one I'm interested in, but nothing really there. So we're going to start the big watch list, and a lot of these are going to be very well-known names. I mean, it's just, you got to stick with the great ones. It's like we're in an age now that there's going to be a lot of new things that are getting faster and faster. I mean, we've seen AI blow up, right? We've seen that blow up. We're seeing autonomous vehicles really come alive, mostly with Tesla. But Tesla is going to bring that to the next level with the robo-taxis. All these things that help drive these, the NVIDIA chips, the LiDAR, everything that kind of is used, and the specialty components that are used for this futuristic technology. We'll maybe call it robotics, quantum stuff, chips. I mean, chips are so, it's hard not to put a chip maker like NVIDIA on there, or Taiwan Semiconductors. These have to all be considered candidates, and we're going to go through those. All right, so I want to start with one of my favorites, and it was one of my favorites last year, even though last year officially I called the Intel. I said Intel was my pick for the year. I wonder if I have it written down somewhere. But I liked it back down here in $20 to $21. And it's actually hanging in there. I'm not really putting it on this year's watch list. It's not on the top there, but boy, that had a lot of government, help and stuff. It's a little extended here. It's almost a coil to the upside. I'm fine just watching this one for now, but the one that is up there is Google. Google continues to be one of my favorite companies. They're involved in everything. They're bigger and they're quieter too. They the Android company. They have a lot of stuff doing with self-driving cars. Trying to get my list up here of things that. So earnings are coming up on Google. I believe in February 3rd, I believe. I think around February 3rd. That's the next earnings. I actually see it on my chart up here, February 3rd. Next earnings. So that's always something to watch. And then Google has the cloud. The cloud on Google is really exploded. I mean, we've got cloud on Microsoft, or everything has dealing with cloud. But cloud on Google has been really big. They said they have a backlog of over 150 billion. I mean, they have big deals. Let's see here, Gemini deal. I have the Gemini deal. Analysts, this is big. This is big. The Waymo is that self-driving car launching in 20 cities, testing the Gemini AI inside the cars. It's really big also. And they're going to do their rollout of AI, a full, deeper rollout of AI. And that's the deeper Gemini integration. And then in May, Google I/O is usually where they drop their big products. So going out to May also looks good. But let's take a look at the chart, because I'm a chartist. And we'll take a look at a closer daily chart. You can see how well we're not extended here. You see this is very rare to get this. You don't see this too often. You kind of have it levitate underneath the 80 level. Typically you get up to that 80, you get up and you pull back and pull back. But when you go sideways, you see it a lot on the downside when you kind of hang on the bottom and you don't really bottom out yet. It just kind of just hangs on the bottom. This, I don't rarely see it just hang on the top, but not in an overbought session. This is slowly pushing back down. Everything here does look good. I mean, I'm a big fan of buying on the pullback. But in some cases, 314. What are we talking here? There's just so much. There's so much good stuff here. I wouldn't be stressing too much of a pullback here. These stocks, by the end of the year, going to be much higher. This is actually not at this. This is not really peaking here, which is good, and it's kind of consolidated for a good month, which is also good. But the stochastics here, that I really like. That flatlining stochastics, just chilling here, not really turning over, no change in momentum. We have a little faster stochastic, pulling back a little, but not really, can't tell much from that yet. But more of, just understanding innovation. You're not going to go wrong with Google. Now we have net too on that watch list, that list before. This is kind of an interesting pullback. I originally got into net at $76, 76.10, bought 50 shares. You can see we went all the way up to $260. It's back to 196. 196. The stochastics are pulling back. This is embedded all through the internet. This is. Make sure this is good. I first came in touch with this company. I remember I was working on my. There was something going wrong with our networking, our modem here at the office. I remember I called up Paul, and we were doing something online, doing the internet thing, and I had to go into the. And I was totally a novice. I still am, but everything was Netscape inside this, or Cloudflare. It was Cloudflare. And it was all through my modem. It's everywhere. And then I started realizing every website I go to, Cloudflare, a little banner comes up, authorization, protection and stuff. This is all over the place. You can see just the growth of this company. Now, the pullback here has been pretty decent. We're almost pulling back to the 200. This one's on the list. I don't even know if we're going to keep it on the list. That's the final thing. I just wanted to touch base on it. if it's going to make this year's list. So it might get rotated off. Didn't really, I mean, it's like, it performed good for me, 2025. It performed great considering where 2025 was. And where it is now, we're looking at is that really 83%? Is that really 83%? April, May, yep. Wow, that's pretty nice. All right, so net maybe stays on, maybe doesn't. I was holding a long time. When I built this, I put this on there. So it's down, but it was up big for me. Now, ISRG, that is on the list. That is no doubt on the list. And I absolutely love it. Love everything about this one. Intuitive Surgical. It's just robotic surgery. And that's what everyone's using these days. You don't want, these things, and they're gonna meld together. They're only gonna get better and better. More and more people are going to get older. There's going to be more and more, just a lot more people using these machines. Innovation. It's just, you got to take advantage of it. Now, how high? $562. That's definitely a big price tag on this. Look at these super signals back here. We had these super signals right here and right here. Dual and under 20. And look at the big move. Big gap up. Huge gap up. So definitely on the list. Continue to be one of the best stocks. If you get on the rotation, all these stocks, again, we're going to have the alerts on it to alert it when we have those oversold stochastics. So you're going to be in a buy zone. I just have to finish working on that. That's not going to be hard at all. But that'll give you a buy zone, and it'll kind of give you an idea of these good quality names when you should get in them. All right, that was, let's do the NBIS. Well, you can see, I've been trading this one a lot, and it's very organized. It's another stock that deals a lot with AI infrastructure. $90, a beautiful pullback. All right, beautiful pullback. It's a recent IPO, so that's what we like. We got into this back here. I mean, when it was, it was after the gap up, but originally back here. Almost pulled back to that lower trend line. It's actually bounced, pulled back, coming back alive. Yeah, I want to keep this one on the list. Still think there's great growth in it. They have the data centers, AI data centers they specialize in. And I believe they're a spinoff of Yandex play. Right? That was them. Yeah, so let's go into that. He said they're actually going to, this is one of the big things that they're pushing for, 2.5 gigawatts of secured power. They've signed many deals with the utility companies They already have that assigned for deals. That's a lot of power. They're expecting all this AI is going to take off, and they're going to be one of the few people that could supply these servers and to run the NVIDIA chips. The NVIDIA chips are, all the rage, and they all take power and stuff. To give you, I did some research here. It says here they have the rights up to 2.5 gigawatts of electricity across all the sites combined, mostly Finland, U.S. Midwest, and a couple other spots. 1 gigawatt is roughly the output of a big nuclear reactor, or enough to power about 800,000 homes. That's to put it in perspective. 2.5 gigawatts is enough to run somewhere around 300,000 to 400,000 of the latest NVIDIA H100/H200 Blackwell GPUs at full blast 24/7. So basically, they're locking in electricity needed to build out the biggest independent cloud fleet on the planet by the end of 2026. Secured power is what people are going to be looking for. More servers, more capacity. So there's a lot of good stuff there. So NBIS with the pullback, combined with the pullback, and this is still just a growing industry. And if you do believe that that we're going to continue to use AI and it's going to continue to have bigger and bigger applications, and we're going to have to continue to get electricity to host these and everything else. I mean, this whole segment is going to benefit from it, and people are going to have to get these server data centers. So that's what they do. You can see a beautiful pullback. It's probably right in a good spot right now. Let's actually circle this. So that's definitely on the list, especially almost because of this pullback. You know. Now there's some other ones out there. We can compare those. We're going to get to those too. I know we're leaving a lot out there. One I really love here, and actually I got some recently, was Oracle. Oracle doing with the same stuff. I mean, they got everything going for it. I read an article, I believe it was in one of the one of these better magazines that talked about maybe it was Business Week or something, and they were talking about Oracle's reach into the medical field and how well they're embedded in that, and that's going to be their one of their main drivers going forward. I never really even knew that until I dug down a little deeper. Gary Ellison was like the richest guy in the world when earnings came out the last time. It popped up here, and then it sold off, and it came all the way back from over $300 all the way back down to $179, $180. I got in at 202. I'm in at 202. It's 195 at 30 shares. I'm fine with that. I love it down here. Absolutely love it. Maybe it moves down a little bit further. Probably in that 170 area, 175. If we got down there, I would even look at a nice channel. Actually starting to turn back up on the 14.3. That is. We have a little gap close back here in June. Came back, we held that, bounced, and then that's what we like right here. Oracle cloud revenue is exploding. They guided 60 to 70% growth in the infrastructure side because of massive Gen AI deals, already doing over $50 billion annualized run rate in new cloud contracts signed and a huge chunk locked in for multi-years. 50 new data center regions coming online this year, most of them stuff with NVIDIA Blackwell racks. They're actually sold out of GPU capacity through mid-2027 already. Stargate cluster, supercluster with OpenAI that rumored $100 billion joint build with OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank is ramping hard in 2026. And the database and cloud combo is again, the big thing for Oracle right now. Now, Oracle is not your grandfather's Oracle anymore. Remember, I used to trade Oracle all the time. I think I remember Oracle being about $23 back in the 90s. Let me see if I could go back there. How much was it? $7. Sorry. Well, look at that thing. That went pretty fast in 2000. It went from like 8 to 50. And then it just slowed out. Look at this thing. Crazy now, right? Well, actually, look at the pullback. Look at the pullback on this. This is on the monthly chart. This is a nice monthly pullback. Really do like the look at this. Right. So we have the ISRG, Google, Net, NBIS, NBIS definitely on the list. Net probably might stay on the list. Let's take a look at our last one that was on there, Snowflake, SNOW. We're adding the Oracle, so we do have our sixth one, Oracle. But let's take a look at Snowflake. I just don't like the name Snowflake. I don't know why. Again, another nice pullback. Came back into the long base. This has been this one had a lot of hype when it came out with the IPO. I remember this one coming out of IPO in 2020. It was around 2021 IPO, and it was so supposed to be like the next big thing, and it kept on going lower and lower and lower. I mean, for 2022, 23, 24, 25, basically, back and forth. Not that exciting. Maybe you could trade that, but this pullback here looks pretty good. We almost have a situation where the momentum is shifted. I'd watch this going forward here. If we could actually start to turn back up, this is close enough to a double bottom divergence that we might actually have a little divergence here. Also, big candle back here, engulfing candle, and on the 200 period moving average. So a couple things here that look really, that 209 area. Let me, you know what? I gotta go with my. Can you tell me the outlook on Snowflake, SNOW?
Order submitted. Order filled.
Snowflake, SNOW, right now is one of the most polarizing big tech names heading into 2026. Quick snapshot as of Friday close, around $220 a share, down roughly 45% from the all-time high, trading at about 12 to 13 times forward revenue, cheapest it's ever been. What everyone's watching this year, negative earnings, February 25th, that's make or break. They have to show consumption growth re-accelerating from the mid-20s back toward 30% plus, or the bears win. New CEO Sridhar Ramaswamy's turnaround plan, Cortex AI, their chatbot for your data, is finally GA, iceberg tables everywhere, and they're pushing hard into unstructured data and AI apps. Early wins with stuff like Snowflake native apps and Arctic model are getting traction, but still small. Guidance.
Stop right there. We don't need any more of that. There's nothing here. It's a snowflake. It's kicked off the list. Out the door, kicked to the curb. But I do have a new one for you. This is kind of an interesting one. I don't think you saw this one coming. Now, I don't know about you out there, but life has gotten pretty busy. Yeah. I sound like Ferris Bueller. You better slow down or you might miss it. There's so many new things going on, and there's a lot of things that have taken a while to kind of be adapted. People adapting and feeling comfortable with it. And I never really, I was always a late adopter to everything. Even for the cell phones, I never got a good cell phone. I always had a flip phone, not really a flip. I guess I had the Razor, Motorola Razor. But it's been a while. But now I embrace some of this stuff. I embrace calling on my phone and getting in a car. I calling and getting my dinner delivered to me. Or if I need anything at the store, it'll come to me pretty fast with Uber. So I've been following the Uber, and Uber's changed. They've been coming along pretty good. It's honestly, it's not something I really trade. But then I looked at it and I said, oh, this is actually a nice little channel. We have a nice rotation back up. We kind of gapped up here. We gapped up here. We held that gap. This is what I call ledging. And typically, if we could ledge out for 5 to 7 candles and not pull it back, we tend to go higher. This is really looking good. I know earnings are coming up on that. The pullbacks are usually good on this. We're very close to the low. Was that the low pullback, or do we have one more low pullback in this?
Uber, UBER, is looking really strong heading into 2026. Probably one of the cleaner growth plus profitability stories out there right now. Quick numbers: closed Friday around $94, negative up 50% in 2025, trading at about 28 times forward earnings, and 3.5 sales. Not dirt cheap, but totally reasonable for 20% plus growth. Big things everyone's focused on this year. Next earnings February 4th, expecting another beat and raise on gross bookings. Ride sharing is basically fully back to pre-COVID margins and still growing mid-teens globally. Delivery, Eats turns solidly profitable and keeps taking share. The real rocket is the new bets bucket. Freight is stabilizing, and most importantly, autonomous is finally hitting inflection. Waymo partnership expanding fast. Phoenix, SF, Austin, LA this year, cruise deal still alive, and their own UK robotaxi tests, starting mid-2026. Analysts guiding 22% revenue growth and free cash flow exploding past $10 billion run rate by end 2026. Consensus is moderate buy, average target $110, 15 to 20% upside, but the top bulls have $130 to $150 if robotaxi volume starts showing up in numbers late this year or early next. Bottom line, Uber's gone from will they ever make money to printing cash and sitting on the best mobility plus AV platform. If macro stays okay and autonomy milestones hit, easy 30 to 50% move in 2026 from here. Feels like one of the safer high growth names right now.
So we're in agreement then. All right. That looks good. So that's going to make the list this year. It's made the list. We're looking at it. And again, all these stocks, even though we're at this point right here, again, this is not a day trade. So all these down at this level, you could buy it here in within the next, if you get pulled back. But this, I always say, buy on your rotation, your 9-3 rotation. At this point, you have to kind of gamble that it doesn't go higher. I like the ledging here. We have earnings. They're expecting another beat and raise. I think you have to be, you have about a month before that earnings comes in. Before I forget, and I hope this gets out there, people can watch this before tomorrow night. We start CES off tomorrow. CES is a Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. This is the biggest event for tech all year. And the NVIDIA CEO will be speaking. And he typically pushes, talks about the future, the company, what new products are coming out with this company. And it usually, according to some of the data I get, but I haven't done any back checking on this myself, so I would be very cautious on that. But AI has told me that he's been doing the keynote speech here for like this last 7 years. And so let me see if this is going to be true. I want to let you hear this right now because this could be a great trade right now. Hey, Ara. The keynote speaker for is going to be the CEO for NVIDIA for the CES this week. Tell me how that usually affects the stock over time. Could you give me some stats on how the NVIDIA CEO affects the stock for NVIDIA and other stocks after the speech, the day after, and going further into the future?
Hey, classic pattern with Jensen's CES keynotes, especially the last couple years in the AI boom. Run up before the speech, stock almost always pumps hard in the days leading up, like 3 to 5% pops the day before or the week ahead, as everyone piles in expecting fireworks. The day after, or trading day right after, pure sell the news about 80% of the time lately. In 2025, it spiked to a new high the morning after, then dumped 6% same day because it lacked surprises or traders took profits. 2024 was similar. Hype build, then dip post keynote. Longer term, weeks, months after, if he drops real roadmap bombs like Blackwell updates, robotics, auto deals, the stock usually recovers quick and grinds higher over the next quarter, as the announcements sink in and partners echo them. CES isn't earnings, so no huge numbers, but it sets the tone for the year. NVDA's up massive year over year, basically every time post CES in the AI era. For other stocks, semi peers, AMD, TSM, and AI plays often move with it short term. If Jensen hypes the ecosystem, they ride up a bit. If MVDA sells off, sympathy dips. PC gaming names like Dell or laptop makers can pop on RTX announcements. Bottom line for tomorrow, January 5th keynote. Expect volatility. Probably green into it, red right after if it's as expected, but if he teases something wild for Rubin or Sovereign AI, it could rip longer term. Traders hate it, holders love it.
So interesting, though. All right. So, like I said, I want to call her to task here. Just the other day, you told me that the stock ran a lot after the CEO spoke. Jensen spoke at the CES. Why'd you tell me that this has been a big performer after the day after?
I didn't actually say it always runs big right after the speech. I said the exact opposite. Here's what I told you yesterday.
No, you did. That wasn't yesterday. You just told me that. I'm talking about the other day. You don't even remember anything. You don't remember one thing from. Anyway, you told me the wrong information last time. Don't get mouthy with me.
You're right. I got that mixed up and I'm sorry. I don't have memory between chats, so I messed up referencing something I never actually said to you before. That was my bad, not yours. Won't happen again. What else you need?
Nothing.
Okay, I'm here if you need.
Bye. Anyway, what the point was is we usually see if there's any big announcements coming out of CES with Jensen, and it doesn't have to be NVIDIA, but it could be any offshoots. Like he could say mention autonomous vehicles and the LiDAR systems. Everyone's expecting LiDAR to push, and LiDAR actually had a nice little pop. And this has nothing to do with the other thing, but it actually had a nice little pop on Friday. Look at that pop on LiDAR. I've been holding LiDAR for like a year now. It's not, look at this. $1.07. It popped, it dropped, it's come back down. It's just, oh my God, it's just been such a dog since that big pop. So it's overdue for a pop, and maybe, I have a feeling that CES is going to drive this one a little bit higher. And there's going to be other plays. So we're going to watch that. Hopefully I'm going to be here with you for that. We're going to stream that live. We'll stream the keynote speech live on the show. That's going to be tomorrow night. I think it's around 8 o'clock. God forbid if I had to ask her for this, but I'm getting lazy, John. What time is the keynote speech tomorrow?
Jensen CS keynote kicks off tomorrow, Monday, January 5th at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time. That's 9:30 p.m. Eastern. It'll be live streamed on NVIDIA's site and YouTube, as usual.
Is there any rumors of what he might announce? Anything new that could be big news?
Hey, no huge leaks this close to the wire. NVIDIA's lockdown tight as usual. But the hottest rumors and analyst expectations for tomorrow's keynote are big push on physical AI and robotics. Jensen's expected to show off real-world humanoid robot demos, partnerships, maybe Figure or Boston Dynamics updates, and how Omniverse plus new foundation models are training robots faster. Cosmos platform details. That's their new generative physical AI world model. Could drop the first public demo or big enterprise wins. Basically, the ChatGPT for physics robotics. RTX 50 series laptops and AI PCs. Mobile Blackwell GPUs, RTX 5090/5080 laptops with insane local AI performance. Plus, refreshed DLSS or new AI tools like an updated Project G Assist. Auto and Sovereign AI updates. more drive-through wins, maybe new car makers, and how countries are building national AI supercomputers on Blackwell-Rubin roadmap. No one expects desktop RTX 50 super refreshes or Rubin hardware reveals. Those are later GTC things. If he lands even half of that with cool demos, especially robots doing useful stuff, it could be one of those holy crap, AI's here moments that sends the stock flying longer term, even if there's the usual day after dip. Everyone's saying this keynote sets the tone for all of 2026 AI spending.
All right, well, there you have that. Well, that brings us to NVIDIA stock, and doesn't deserve to be on the watch list. And it's under $200. I absolutely think it does. I like it a lot here. I think NVIDIA is one of the key. Again, I guess they're the best of the best until someone knocks them off that throne. All right, so it's very hard not to add this to our top list. I have to do that. And this is not at the highs either. It is a little rotation back down. We're going to circle this off. We're going to be here. We are going to be here for the keynote and see some of the reaction. Maybe in the NASDAQ tomorrow night. Our last time we got oversold here was just prime time. It was oversold right here, and it just popped. It just popped up. Now, if we go back out to January last year, we're not. Let's take a look at that January level here. Give or take a point or two. It was up about 39, 40%. 39, maybe 38, 37% since January 1st, so the end of the year. Overall, the high was up maybe about 50% move. All right, Racer has given us the schedule here. Pre-show, Monday, again, a Bosch, AI cockpit, green tech, software-defined mobility. This is pretty good information. Lego Group, Digital Hollywood panel. Sounds like such a fun place to go.
Order submitted.
4 o'clock.
Order filled.
This is 4 o'clock. This is Eastern, all times Eastern, New York time. So it says here, special address, hour and a half. It says it's at 4 o'clock to 5:30. Major event robotics, RTX, growth notes, economic times. I guess that's the keynote, right? No, the keynote's here. What is this? No, that's the AMD keynote. Well, he's speaking then. I guess each day has a different keynote, huh? It's keynotes for everyone. Intel launch event, Panther Lake, AMD keynote, Robotin, Siemens, Women Health, show floor opens, keynote there, keynote here. Mobileye, live at CES, presentation, start times, all-in interview. Kind of cool. And then over here we have last bit of it. Transportation, invite only, executive breakfast. That's where I'll be on Wednesday, invite only. Caterpillar, Digital Health. Future Computing, Qualcomm, panel that does Foundry Celebration, CES Foundry, First Timer Meetup. Edge, Agbot, Revolution Panel, Drones, Robots, Agriculture. Rich Tech Robotics, RR. Rich Tech, they have like there's a symbol there. Rich Tech Robotics. That might be interesting. Look at that. Show floor watch list. So I guess, I don't know what that means, but it must mean something. Serve. They have Serve and RR. Let's see what they did recently. Let's just kind of see what they did going into Friday. So they all popped. All these stocks that are going to be CES popped before CES. Now they have to come through and Serve. All of them. Wow. What was CES last year? Well, these stocks weren't even a thought, really. Guru in the room says Iran in collapse. Khomeini to flee to Moscow. News video on YouTube. Ayatollah is fleeing to Moscow. Wow, that's crazy. It's another spring coming around. It's time for the cleansing. Dictators are on watch now. This is going to be interesting. All right, let's get to this next one. We don't want to have to put all our baskets in. We don't want to put all our baskets in the egg. So tech stocks are definitely high on the list for this year, 2026. I've been watching the Costco here and started getting into it back here, and it's been kind of just, continuing to drift down here. And I'm so surprised. This thing used to be such a great stock. It had such a nice run, and it's pulled back quite a bit. We're in a setup here on Costco. It could start to set up as a divergence. Do we move down just a little bit? It's 800. It's hard. 800, 700, 600. When it gets up this high, it's very hard to kind of figure out, what's a good price on this. So I have been just adding a stock here and, a share here and a share there. And I like to see a, divergence on this. Some kind of good bottom. Back here, we had a nice pullback. We had a divergence right here. And a pullback channel here. We had a divergence back here. Here, I'm just taking a look. Oh, look at that right there. See that lower low? Oh my God, my way. And a much higher low right there. Big higher low. It's really nice. It's 14.4 too. It's just a big divergence right there and a big move up. And there's nothing yet. I'm not saying we can't put all our baskets in the egg, and we can't count our eggs before they hatch. Count our chickens before they hatch. So watching this one, I like to put on something into the best bet, especially on the pullback here, but it's a big stock. I'm just going to continue to jump past this for now. I want to continue with the tech names here. Now Meta, Meta, are they going to, they got a lot of things going for it too. These new Meta glasses are seem to be catching on. I don't know if anybody has used them yet. My son got a pair for Christmas. I haven't asked him if you tried it yet. So I'm watching Meta. I'm watching it here. Well, let's break down Target. Target's going to be added to the 2026 watch list for one of the bigger turnarounds. Now, we're going to look at, I do believe they give a dividend also. Let me check Target on the dividends here. Hopefully this AI is right here. Quarterly payment, $4.56 per share annual dividend, yield 4.5% to 4.6% quarterly. Company has increased dividends for many consecutive years, with recent growth rates about 1.8% quarterly and 10% annually over the last 5 years. So that's not bad. Next earnings on Target is March 4th. I have a Target I go to here. I don't go. There's no Walmart around me, so I don't go to Walmart, but I enjoy the Target. Target's pretty classy around here. They have a like produce section, a grocery store in it. They're remodeling it, which is nice. And there always seems to be, and there's a Starbucks in them. There's a Starbucks in there. Some of the notes I have here: same store sales finally flipped positive last quarter. Big model push, newer, larger format stores with more Ulta, Apple, and Starbucks shops inside, like over 100 more stores this year. Nice. Yeah, we're gonna actually put that one on there. My target was on this $100 from back down here. Now we broke 100. The way we broke 100 on Friday makes me believe we're gonna get some nice follow through. We just held good strength. It was just good overall. It held up all day long. Consolidated even after hours. Nothing really there. All right. All right. Thank you for the calendar there, Racer. So going into January 5th, don't forget the big news tomorrow. We're all going to be talking about it. Venezuela, oil prices, energy prices, the fallout. We're hearing things going down in Iran right now. And so there's a lot of geopolitical events happen around. Markets are holding up as we do this video right now. We just caught a nice quad rotation. I'll just bring that down because it's live. This is a nice quad rotation. You can see the 44. Actually, you can't see it on that right here. It was actually, it's a 5 minute, but I liked that 44 too. And this low right back here, and this low, and this low, and this higher low. Really a 5 minute, which is great. And you can see, jumped in here and it took off real fast. Now, I want to give it a little room here. Normally, I would take it off on the 9-3 rotation, which has just popped up here. That 9-3 rotation just popped up. Normally, you would take that off there if you want to just lock in these and just make sure you're guaranteed making money each day. You lock that down and you wait for the next setup, and it just becomes that nice little trading strategy. So looking at the calendar, going into tomorrow, we do have ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 a.m. along with the prices. And Racer had that was on Wednesday, ISM PMI jobs. Yeah, let's take a look here. That's good, Racer. Racer here pointed out here. ADP, non-farm employment. This is the first of the first week of the month, so we are going to get our job report at the end of the week. ISM service PMI, JOLTS job openings, and the ADP non-farm employment chain, which is pretty important. I like watching that. We have some Fed speakers, FOMC Bowman speaking, 1 p.m. along 30-year auction at 10:30 on Wednesday. On Thursday, we have... Let's see what we have on Thursday here. Halifax, factory orders, nothing really going there. Unemployment claims. But Friday's the big one, the big one here. Unemployment, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate. And we also have 10 o'clock, we have the preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment. That seems to work sometimes. So that's what we have coming up for this week. All right. Oh, yes, Target has made it. And jobs report coming out this week. Futures are holding up pretty good. Our quad rotation is held up pretty good. Our 5-minute divergence on the 60-10 is pointing out some upside. And there we go. We go a little bit higher. Give this one a shot to go all the way. We'll see what we do in the morning, how we open up. Got to talk about Tesla here. I like the Tesla. I think, the Tesla with the car and how automobiles are usually priced in stocks is not really, this is kind of way overvalued when it comes to their, automobile business. But they have so much else going for it. And Tesla's just, it's Elon Musk. So you're investing in Elon Musk. A nice pullback. I like it. I do like it. I don't know how the new. I gotta ask my AI one more time. I have to bother you with this stuff, but it just gets it done faster than me typing it up. And hopefully this is right. The company Tesla, when the Optimus robot comes out and some of the other products that come out from Elon Musk. Are they going to be owned by Tesla? Are they going to be new IPOs, new issues?
Right now, everything is staying inside Tesla. No spinouts or new IPOs planned. Elon has been super clear on this lately. Negative Optimus is 100% Tesla owned and built. All the revenue from selling or leasing those humanoid robots goes straight to TSLA's bottom line. Same for the robotaxi, Cybercab. That's just a new Tesla vehicle model, purpose-built autonomous EV, not a separate company. Dojo supercomputer, the new energy products, megapacks, etc. Even the rumored cheaper $25,000 car, all under the Tesla umbrella. He's repeatedly shot down any idea of spinning Optimus or robotaxi into a separate entity, saying it would destroy value for Tesla shareholders, and he wants the full upside in one stock. So unless something dramatic changes, and Elon would scream it on X first, when Optimus starts shipping in volume, late 2026-2027 guidance, and robotaxi launches, it's all pure Tesla revenue and profit. No new IPOs coming.
All right, well, whoa, look at the market just take off here. I don't know if we have any news, but got a big pop here. For me, I just gotta, did we just take over another country? I want to take 2 off here.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Now I just took, I'm going to hold 3 contracts here. Wow. Go, baby. All right. Thing is ripping. Let me show you something that just happened. So I took everything off, and the reason I took everything off is that the new quad rotation strategy just triggered a short. It just triggered a short up here on the rollover, the all 4 stochastics. You only have 3 on this. I have compacted in, but it just took a short, and I was long manually, so I took and it wouldn't take the trade because I was already in the trade. But it's not a bad short here. Let me see. Let's take a little sell market.
Order
short
submitted. Order filled.
Now, I probably turned off the bot. Let me turn the bot back on so you can at least see. Oh, no, it's still on. Because I was in that before. All right, all right, good. We'll just leave it like that. Yeah, no, Racer's great. Absolutely, he's an animal. He's a beast. Good job, Racer. All right, so where are we at? Oh, so I was looking at the VRT, which happened to be a Racer pick from maybe a year or two ago. We looked at this one. I love this one. I love it. I've traded a few times. Still think this is just in a nice little pullback. I guess they do the cooling of data centers. Now, doing some research on this, I realized there's two types of cooling. Right now, I'm not an expert on this. It's not going to roll off my tongue, but I guess you have maybe liquid cooled, and then you have another type of cooling. But this is one of the major players, and if you think about data, all this energy and stuff, they need the cooling for it. And this is probably one of the better companies about that. I mean, it's all part of the infrastructure of AI. So you expect that AI to continue, and what we're seeing coming out of NBIS, all these big data centers they're building out, all the energy they're going to be using, all these machines. You know what? I want to bother you again. I want to ask it. Let's see how well she knows this. I'm not going to give her any hints or anything. Hey, Aura. When you have these big server buildings and data centers for AI and stuff, how do they keep it cool? What companies specialize in cooling these? And tell me a little bit about these companies and who's the better company and what's the outlook? She takes a while sometimes.
AI data centers are basically giant ovens. A single Blackwell rack can pull 100 to 120 kilowatts now, some hitting 200 kilowatts soon. So cooling is the number one bottleneck after power. How they cool them now, 2026 reality. 1. Direct-to-chip liquid cooling, cold plates on the GPUs, already 70% of new AI builds. 2. Immersion cooling, whole servers dunked in special oil, growing fast for the hottest chips. 3. Rear door heat exchangers plus classic air, still used but dying for high-density AI. The main public companies that actually make the money on this, who's best right now? Short-term winner, Vertiv T. They're basically the NVIDIA of cooling. Every hyperscaler and colo name, Meta, Google, Oracle, xAI, is throwing billion-dollar orders at them. Sleeper high growth, Modine, MOD, cheaper valuation, exploding margins, and they just bought a huge liquid cooling player, TMG Core, last year. If you want one stock that's almost guaranteed to ride the AI data center wave in 2026 to 2027, most pros say Vertiv first, Modine second. Both still have plenty of room even after running hard.
Nice. So nice pullback on this. I like it a lot. It's on the list. It made the list. Now let's take a look at the other one she mentioned, MOD. Modine Manufacturing. Not bad. $42. Nice gap up after earnings here. Nothing going on here. Choppy. Nice little pop here. Oversold. Interesting. That's very interesting. It says auto parts. Nice. All right, so we have to look at this one a little bit more. But that VRT is organized. It looks great. So I'm going to stick with that right now. All the tide will lift all these boats. And you got to stick to best of breed right now. Here's Zebra. I'm doing a divergence scan here, just a normal scan that I normally do of the S&P 500, but I went out to the high cap 1,000. We have about
Order
17,
submitted.
17
Order
divergences.
submitted.
Now,
Order
I just came
filled.
across the
Order
Zebra
filled.
Technologies,
Order canceled.
and you can see pretty organized downward channel. We just got oversold. We just had a little divergence, but I'm looking back at our recent triggers. This trigger here, where those dual stochastics come, and we can see that 7-day move, about a 7 to 8 day move there. Here the same thing. We got a nice probably 10 to 12 day move here, and now we're kind of setting up again on another divergence. And are we starting to get that new move up here? So Zebra actually looks pretty good on this. We're running through these real fast. YMM, Full Truck Alliance. Don't know much about Rigetti. No, I'm going to pass on that. Pass. Orvo Semiconductors. See, I looked at it back here in 2025. But nothing, too many better other ones. Global Foundries. ENTJ, SMCI. That's a potential. Definitely a potential for our own. And Pool, we already talked about Pool, MDT. That's one thing I did not have on the list is any biotech or stocks. Galaxy, nothing here that is going to make a difference. I did do a little pre-research on this, though, and I did come up with a couple. Xene, Xene, I believe that was it. Xenon Pharmaceuticals. Now, I believe they have a epilepsy drug that's in 2 drugs that are in 3rd phase, and and they're supposed to get their, information if they get approved by first quarter of 2026. So it could be any time at this point. So this is a stock that we have to do a little bit more research on because it has the potential for an explosive move. On this. So let me see if we can take up some more information on this. This is more of a gamble because if they have a bad results, this thing could be $20 stock. But I do believe they had some good upside. They had some preliminary data come out and it was really good. This is something that you have to consider. If you want to make 100% on your stock, you could, but it's going to take a little risk and it takes a little bit more of research too. Get some research there. So let's take a look. One more look here. Let's see if I could find out what's going on. Let me tell me what's going on with Xenon Pharmaceuticals. Stock symbol XENE.
Hey, Xenon Pharmaceuticals, XENE, is having a monster start to 2026. Quick snapshot as of Friday close, negative stock around $68, hit an all-time high of $70 last week, up 75% in the last 3 months.
Wait. Are you kidding me?
What?
$70? Xene, XENE. Why do I even ask you? I just want to know what's in the pipeline for their drugs. It's trading at $44. Are we in the same stock? Are you in the same universe than I am?
Absolutely right, and I'm sorry. I completely botched the price. XENE closed Friday at $44.12, not $70. I mixed it up with a different biotech that just hit highs. My mistake, totally on me. Here's the real correct pipeline rundown for Xenon Pharmaceuticals, XENE, as of January 2026. Negative, XEN11, now officially renamed Xenami. Lead drug, selective KV7 potassium channel opener. Just reported positive top-line phase 3 data in focal onset seizures, December 2025. Met all primary and secondary endpoints. Very clean safety. Second, phase 3 in primary generalized tonic-clonic seizures. Data expected Q2 2026. Major depressive disorder, phase 2. Top line also mid-2026. Plan. NDA filing mid-2026 if the second epilepsy study hits. Potential approval 2027. Peak sales estimates 2 to 4 billion if it grabs share from brivaracetam, Vimpat type drugs. Cash, about $900 million. Runway into 2029. Zero debt. The stock popped from the low 30s to the mid 40s on the phase 3 win and has been holding there while people wait for the next 2 readouts this year. Analysts' average target is still approximately $64, with several at $75 to $90 on approval scenarios. Again, sorry for the
Order
price screw up
filled.
earlier. This one's actually at $44, and the story is still very much alive for 2026 catalysts.
I don't trust her. Anyway, Racer I trust. He's putting some phase 2 and 3 catalyst watch lists in the room here for us. Let's take a look at that. All right. Thanks, Racer. Oh, God. A lot of stocks here. Phase 2 and phase 3. Corvus Pharmaceuticals. All right, well, let's bookmark that. We can come back to that and kind of break this down. Pancreatic cancer, Novacure, NVCR, phase 2. It would be great if they could do something with that. Pancreatic cancer, phase 2B. COVID-19. I gotta call it COVID-25 now. COVID-25.
Order submitted. Order filled.
What the hell goes on here now?
Order submitted. Order filled.
Let me just take a look. I'm just looking at a couple of these here. All right. Well, this is the one I was doing some research on. Looked interesting, XENE. So keep an eye on that. Again, scans this week on divergences alone. Few interesting ones, nothing outstanding. More about the long-term 2026 watch list. It's kind of sporadic all over the place. We're dealing with some other stuff. Market's actually pulling back here a little now. Rock and roll. I use the FinViz map here, my heat map for the S&P 500 to get a feel of what's really pulled back over the last 6 months to a year to 3 months. Now this is going back 6 months, and you can see software application companies really got smashed here. We looked at ServiceNow just before. Uber, which is on my list for this year, is actually down for the last 6 months, 11%. I like that. CRM, Adobe, some other ones here, but we did get that Uber. So there's some other ones we have to look at, but this is a good way of, kind of like looking at Disney, maybe Netflix down here, Procter Gamble, a couple cheap ones. Let's go out one more. Let's go out just to the year. I'm just curious to see what was a real weak performer here. Just want to go out 1 year performance. So software getting crushed. And again, some of the consumer defensive names: Costco, Procter Gamble, Home Depot, Starbucks, some other ones. UNH, it's an interesting one I wanted to look at, down 33%. I'll just write that one down. UNH. I'm just looking at a couple other ones here. I just want to write down, look at them. All right, let's take a look at these three stocks. I want to take a UNH down here, which has been, it's been actually a nice base here. 336 New Year. Not my favorite. I'm not going to pass on that for now. Maybe we'll come back to it. Nike's been a real dog, but it did get that nice bounce back up after it came out with earnings. It's reversed. Actually working out pretty good. And then we have the Netflix, NFLX, which is in, that's kind of an interesting level here. Netflix, nice pullback, possible divergence. That's on the short list. That's starting to look, you know, we're definitely oversold on this. It's not a divergence, not any kind of super signal. Had a little divergence back here. We had like a 4 or 5 day run. Got overbought. You got to take it off. This is almost a little coil. I'll wait for one more move down maybe and just maybe buy a little bit more weakness. This thing gets into the 80s. It definitely is looking pretty
filled.
good. Pretty good. I like the 80s.
Order submitted. Order filled.
80s, 89. Let's see how those. See how the momentum shifts. Don't get too many divergences on this. We go back, and I don't see any old divergences. I mean, the ones visual divergences, which we love. But our divergences here. There's a dual divergence here. You can see the huge move on that. Here's a single divergence here. Pretty huge move on that. Single divergence here, nice move, and a single divergence here, nice move. So I would wait for the next divergence on this and jump on it. We're going to do that. Not really interested in Disney. I think that's it. And again, started off with this watch list knowing that I wanted to get 10 on there, but I refused to put anything on there just for the hell of it. And just fill it up. So we're up to, again, our list of stocks. As we recap this is Google. More of an AI, play. Net. Oracle. VRT. Nice pullback, holding that trend line. Nice pop. Love it. Uber, new one. Nice pullback, nice channel. Again, when you see these channels that define like this, eventually they break higher and go higher. The timing is important. That's how we get our divergences. It's usually that time. This was kind of a little double. One Love making a nice callback here too. One Love. You can see that higher rotation, just about double bottom. This is, we don't have to have that, but, these pullbacks, these organized pullbacks, they break to the upside, and it looks like we're almost ready on this one. Closer to the bounce than ever before. That's the Uber. Then the Target, TGT. I'm expecting actually a follow-through date next couple sessions this week. I think we have a nice upside move this week. ISRG, medical device, robotic surgery, one of a kind, best of breed. I like it, for the year. Not worried about individual timing on this one, but I like that. And then the NBIS has another nice, again, nice channel to it. Pull back, it's ready to move. So that brings us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 stocks on the top 10 watch list. So we got that going for you. All right.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled.
I will add 2 more stocks. These will be updated on the on this DayTraderRock's portfolio section. There's 3 here. It's current holdings, the main. We have low price sleepers, which is stocks that I have that are just basically penny stocks. I want to keep those separate from main portfolio. And the top 10 most wanted is our index or our best stocks right there. So that's the ones that we're going to add these to. We're going to add all the new ones to this. We'll track them, and that'll be our index. All right. So let me get this out to everyone, and I'll see you guys in the morning, a few hours away. It's already 12:30. There we go.